Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy is using this as a talking point. I don't think he intends on banning H-1B. That would be a huge detriment to the United States.
Hello and welcome to American Visa Law Group's official YouTube channel. My name is Leah. I'm a legal executive assistant. Today we're talking about Vivek Ramaswamy's stance on banning H-1B visas. And here I have immigration attorney.
Ali Sabzwari. I'm the supervising attorney, and I mostly deal with the employment-based immigration cases here at American Visa Law Group.
All right. Can you explain to people what H-1B visas are?
So the H-1B visa is the premier work visa that most professionals use to get into the U.S. Or students that are in the U.S. change to H-1B to begin working. Um, so it's a lottery-based system, and it's for uh, occupations that require at least a bachelor's degree in the field. So a technical job that's like more for a technician or something
Mhm.
which you could get a certification for, and you wouldn't need a bachelor's degree for, that wouldn't qualify for an H-1B visa.
Right, and they're mostly in STEM fields, right?
H-1B doesn't have to be in STEM. It can be in, you could have a lawyer on H-1B, you could have a doctor on H-1B, you could have an accountant on H-1B. The basic requirement is that to enter the field, most employers require the employee to have a bachelor's degree.
Mhm.
That's the basic requirement.
Okay, right. So there are 65,000 spots for H-1B visas for people with at least a bachelor's degree, right? And there's an additional 20,000 spots for people with a higher level degree, like
Correct.
master's or doctorate. Okay. And so there have been an increasing number of applicants over the years, right?
Yes. So before the cap wasn't usually met that fast. Nowadays, the system, after a certain time, there used to be 5 days to file the the petition, and those days would be sufficient for the cap to be met because there would be, you would only have 5 days. Um, since then, recently, the system has changed to a registration-based system, which is you pay like $10 and an employer can file a registration to be entered into the lottery. So the number of candidates for H-1B has skyrocketed because of that.
Right. So, is there potential for abuse of using application systems where people can just reach out to employers and say, "Oh, I want you to like file this on behalf of me," and um, these employers could ask for some amount, like even greater than the $10 filing fee?
Well, yeah, there's definitely a potential for abuse. There was abuse possible in the previous system as well. In the previous system, you had to prepare an entire petition um, before you could submit it in the lottery. So that was obviously, it was costing more because you'd have to hire an attorney or whatever and prepare an entire petition in order to just be entered into the
Mhm.
lottery. Now it's a $10 expense. So you could potentially, find three or four, employers to just, submit this, and it might not be a legitimate job offer,
Mhm.
right? Because just to be, quite frankly, not everybody, well, it's not common to get three or four job offers, right? But because the process is so easy on the front end, um, there are people that are getting two or three, four registrations.
Okay.
So there is a potential for fraud.
Oh, okay. So Vivek Ramaswamy wants to ban H-1B visas, and he thinks that the system needs an overhaul. He's made statements calling it indentured servitude, and So could you talk a little bit about how H-1B, people who are here on an H-1B affect the US economy?
Yeah, Vivek Ramaswamy is using this as a talking point. I don't think he intends on banning H-1B. That would be a huge detriment to to the United States. But I think he's just mimicking Donald Trump and trying to appease his voters. But is there a need to reform the H-1B? I think there is, because this last H-1B we had 700,000 applicants for 85,000 spots.
Right.
So it is to give people that are filing the H-1B a fair shake. It needs to be a more fair, system. So we need to be able to weed out the fake, fraudulent petitions. Now, what he's saying is that he wants it to be a meritorious system, which means that I think is probably not doable because if you say merit based, what does that even mean? Because having a bachelor's degree,
It's merit in itself.
it's not so. It's if you if you just open up the door to merit, I think there would be a lot of people that fulfill that merit, um, and that might be even harder to control. So the lottery system, I think, for the most part, the way it worked before was working. Now it seems because of the registration system, it's just really hard to get picked because there's so many people that are filing multiple registrations.
Mhm.
So I think it needs to be fixed. I think he's approaching it from a more political. I don't know. I don't think he really knows what he's gonna do at this point, but he's just using this as a talking point. And as far as you said, a benefit to the U.S.
Mhm.
We need to attract the best and the brightest people, and from across the world. That's what boosts innovation and entrepreneurship, and it helps the economy in so many ways because when you have foreign workers coming to the U.S., they're creating jobs for other fields. Not everybody in the U.S., is competing for these professional jobs, so they complement each other in that sense. And a lot of these people become business owners themselves and entrepreneurs themselves. So if the U.S. wants to be competitive in the world, in the world market, we need to be able to attract talent from across the world. And the H-1B program right now is one of the main programs in the U.S. immigration system, which attracts foreign workers.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah. Thank you so much for explaining that. Okay. All right. Well, let us know what your thoughts are on H-1B visas, if we need an overhaul, if we need improvements, and thank you so much for watching.